After your REDCap account is set up and Create Project feature has been added, you'll be able to create your own projects in REDCap. To log in, you'll just go to https://redcap.ucdenver.edu or .childrenscolorado.org and log in. Once you've logged in, we have a few different pages here at the top. The home page tells you what REDCap is all about. It has a contact link for the REDCap admin and a link to our REDCap info site. On the CCTSI REDCap, there's also a blurb reminding you that training is required to access REDCap with a link to the tutorials and our REDCap info site, and that this REDCap is primarily for IRB-reviewed protocol data, unless there is a prior exemption, and asking you to contact us if you have any questions about that. The My Projects page has all the different projects that you have access to in REDCap. You can create new folders and coordinate the colors how you might like. And then you can assign projects to a folder. So I can decide what I might put in my miscellaneous folder, and REDCap will move them there. On this page, I can also see information about the projects I have access to. I can see how many records they have, how many fields they have, instruments in the breakdown of regular data entry instruments to surveys, if it is a basic REDCap project or a longitudinal one, and if it is in development or in production. I can also search my list of projects, and I can remember my previous search. Next, we have the Help and FAQ tab. The Help and FAQ section is a list of commonly asked questions in REDCap. It's a very useful source for looking up basic information about how to do things inside of REDCap, and it has some great information. My favorite section is the calculation section. Here I can look up all the quirks of a calculated field, see how to set up a function, how to do a date diff. The FAQ is a great resource, especially when you have questions about how syntax works, how you should phrase things to pipe something or make branching logic or a calculation work. But it has a lot of great information beyond syntax work. There's also the training video tabs. These are videos developed by Vanderbilt about how to use REDCap, and they're a great resource for you. We also have our REDCap info page. This is redcapinfo.ucdenver.edu on using the UC Denver REDCap. We answer questions about who can use REDCap. There are links to the tutorials, policies and procedures, some best practices, and we also have links to all the different videos we've created. So that's the videos covered in this training, our most recent user group, and then more videos going over advanced features in REDCap that might be useful for your individual project. Back in REDCap, we finally have the New Project tab. This is available to all users with a full account who are with the CCTSI affiliate, or for any children's user with a full account on that system. To create a new project, you simply need to give it a name and give it a purpose. For the CCTSI REDCap, that's probably going to be research. You don't have to have the information about the PI or the IRB number to start building your project. We can come back to this later on. It is very helpful, though, if it is a research project, that you come in and add this information in when you have it, and if it changes, that you come in and update it, especially on long-term projects where there is turnover. If everybody on a project with project design or user rights has left, we'll be able to use this information to look up how we can get people access to the project who might need it later on in the project lifecycle, without putting any sensitive data or PHI at risk. You will need to specify what type of research you're doing before you create the project, though. You can always come back and edit this information if you need to. For now, I'm just going to make this a practice project. I can choose to assign the project to one of my project folders, and I can include project notes. This is metadata, information about the project. So, for example, if I create a new version of this project every year, I can make sure I specify in here what year this is from, if it is a copy of the previous year's project, or if it's something that was built from scratch, and any key differences and changes that we made, and maybe why that we made them. There's a saying that the you from 6 months ago is terrible at answering emails, and it's always a good idea, where you can, to document what your thought process is and the why that you do something, that if there's going to be any question in your mind or in someone else's mind 5 years from now, what the purpose of a project or a field or a change is. Finally, you'll choose if you want to start the project from scratch or begin with a template. You can begin with an empty project. If you're transferring the project from another REDCap system, you can upload the REDCap project as an XML file, with or without data, and that will bring over the entire project with all of its settings. Or you can choose to use a template. In particular, I recommend the COMERB eConsent template. This was a template developed by COMERB for using the eConsent Auto Archiver framework for people who are going to be doing electronic consent in REDCap. And the field embedding example project, if you think you're going to want to use field embedding to format your project so it's not just one variable per line. It has a lot of great examples to help you get started. For me, I'm going to just create an empty project. And then I hit the Create Project button. If you're on the CCTSI REDCap, the University REDCap, you'll see a quick survey that you fill out after you hit the Create Project button. It'll ask for your name, your email, and then it'll ask you a few questions about the project you're creating to make sure that it's a valid use of REDCap. Most projects will be research that they'll have an IRB number now, or at least in the future. It is possible, though, that you can go down all the way through the list, and you might see this message at the bottom. If you do, there may be an issue with you using REDCap for this particular project. We ask that you please contact us if you see this box. Don't assume that your project's not eligible. We want to hear about the project and we can see if it fits into a valid exemption. But please do check in with us to make sure it does fit within a valid exemption. If you're on the Children's REDCap, you won't see this at all. And if your project does fit in as a valid use case, you'll just hit the Submit button. And REDCap creates the project and I'm ready to start building. We'll look at the features of the project homepage, all the options on the project setup, the other functionality, and the project revision history in the next video.